Well, well, good evening everyone. Welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online, and we're here for yet another match. Well, the match that's shown on the screen, it's another match in this year's 2020 Snooker Masters. On the one-loss side, it's between SemiPro from England and REELPOLANDPOWER, who will be known from now on as Stub, from the United States. It's a race to 3. And it's due to start in about 3 minutes time. Let's have a quick look at the bracket, and on this one-loss side we can see the match that we're about to watch, and the one above is the one that I have my doubts as to whether it will go ahead or whether it will actually complete, because Barry C quit in his first match, and he may well quit again against Bedhead. And over on the winner's side we have what now, well, the player that seems to be hot favourite for the tournament, Barker's 155. He's sitting there, but he's going to have to overcome Moz. Moz will give him a tough game, but I think Moz is going to have to start divvying up some heavier scoring if he's going to give Barker's a problem. That is to say also that if Barker's makes the odd mistake and lets Moz in, well, it's up to Moz to take what he can get. So those are the matches that are still to come, but this one tonight, well, difficult to say how it's going to go. Stub, given a chance, will score points. The question is whether SemiPro is going to be too aggressive and pay the price for it. That's where he has to be careful. Stub also. So the two players, well, I think SemiPro's just arrived. He's in, probably having a warm-up, as a Stub, so they're only going to get 2 minutes to knock them around, and then we'll be good to go. And hopefully, I've had a couple of problems using this test version with the internal browser that Steve gave me. A couple of problems joining the room where I've been out of sync immediately, and weird things have happened. So we'll see if everything goes okay tonight. If not, we'll just have to kill it and restart. That usually fixes it. So welcome to anybody. I don't see any chat yet, so I must be here on my own. I don't see anything coming in. We are streaming live to YouTube, Twitch and Facebook. Oh, we've got somebody at last. Welcome everybody. Well, I don't know how this is going to go. The interesting thing was Semi was talking to me after his last match where he was making silly mistakes, and I said, he says, what do you think's wrong? I says, well, you're either out to impress people or you're out to win a match. And he actually agreed with me. He was, I mean, I think he's thinking that oh, good evening, there's a surprise. He seems to want to impress the viewers, and I said to him, I says, well, you know, you're out to play a game rather than impress. I know that when I was playing in big matches in the snooker, you could have 10, 12 people in the room. Never bothered me in the slightest. I never paid any attention to how many were watching. You were totally focused on what's to get done. I suppose it's like the guys at the World Championship at the moment. There's no spectators at all in the theatre. Except they'll get fake applause, which is stupid. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Well, the room is up. One player is in. I am in. Now this bug happens when Stub joins the room. He'll join as a spectator on my screen if it doesn't work. And the same thing has happened again. Oh no, he's in the room at last. Yeah, it is working this time. Well, Semi, as I said, I gave him advice. I said, look, You can't be out to try. I mean, I think the problem with Semi is, and this is a fact. He spends a lot of time in a room trying to make big breaks, and I told him, I says, look, doesn't matter how big a breaks you make, it's about match play, and match play is a whole different kettle of fish. It's very easy to be embroiled in trying to score loads of points. You're going to try to win a match, and you can't be one-dimensional. You have to use all your knowledge, and you have to think a lot more about the pros and cons of what you're doing. And I think this is where Semi has to learn. He has to get this snooker brain rather than this pot and balls brain, because that one-dimensional way is not going to achieve you success. But anyway, we'll see if he thinks different. So welcome to everybody. Everybody's turned up. There's Moz. Who the hell's that? Oh, Ross. Good evening. Wit's there. And I don't know how many others are there, but Stubbs got a start. Now he wants to stun this red in so he doesn't run into the black and red. He wants to stun. Well, he's decided he ain't interested. He's taking what he can get and he's running for cover, and that's good to see, because that's the way you should be doing it. You shouldn't be overextending your neck when you're playing these games. If you're going to try and take out a tough opponent, then you have to use everything in the game to do it, and most of that is using your head and not trying to impress. You're trying to win a match. Now again, I keep telling you people, whenever you are playing safe off the pack of reds, you have to look at the pack of reds. You have to see what's happening. If there's, oh, he'll probably do that. Yep, he'll probably use his soft break from behind. But always study the pack of reds before you play any shot off the pack of reds. You must look at the pack of reds. And again, if you play snooker, it should be a natural thing. It should be autopilot every time. You should always look. Is that what he said to his boyfriend as well, was it? And my second camera's wrecked since I had to reinstall this version. Look at the view you get with the second camera. I haven't set it right, so I can't be bothered trying to do it. So we'll just be stuck with this one tonight. Well, it was a bit dire, but you know, if you win ugly and you're still in the tournament, as the guy said in the studio, you can always improve through the tournament. It doesn't matter how bad a match you have, as long as you get yourself over the line, you've got 17 days to get better. And Sean Murphy, I mean, he was just not there at all. I mean, he's been beaten by a guy who probably will get humped in the next round. The guy's had a good match, he's played well, and he's beaten Murphy, but he'll probably won't do much else in the tournament. But Sean Murphy, I think he maybe just thought he had to turn up. Yep, that's the old bug again, isn't it? Let's right click the mouse and see what happens. There we go. Always an instant fix. That's the bug I've been talking about. Well, it's been what? How long is it since Murphy won the title now? Is it 2005? 15 years. trying to remember. So we're in the early stages of this match, keeping it cagey, but the reds are opening out. Now you see, taking this red here, again, not the shot to play because you're running into the reds, and you've no guarantee you're going to get on that brown. Stubbs taking a risk, and he's just hoping he gets on a colour, and he's not really great on a colour. Now again, he does have an opportunity to tuck the cue ball over behind the black. That's the shot he should be playing off the yellow. He should be running and hiding and waiting a better opportunity. Now he's going to try and make an opportunity here, and it's not easy to get on a red. I mean, you look at the reds, there's nothing easy on this layout here. So again, you weigh up the situation and you play safe off the yellow and in behind the black. Now if he gets the blue and lands in a red, he's a hero, but it's not the shot to play. You see, he's now lost any advantage he could have created for himself there, and that's what I mean about wrong shot choices. All he would have ended up getting is 6 points. He's missed the reds, he's ended up in bulk. Okay, he's left nothing on for semi, but it is not the way to play it. Well, it's part of the game, and safety is a big part of snooker, especially at the top level and the real world professionals. I mean, safety is the thing that will generally bring out the mistakes from your opponent, and then you can go in and score. But Stubb played a wrong shot choice there, and that's more than evident. He had an easy safety trying to tuck that cue ball off the yellow in behind the black and get semi in trouble. But now he's got an opportunity there, but once again he's going to have to travel big distances here. I need a quick drink. So any latecomers, this is the one lost side in the VP4 2020 Masters between SemiPro from England, Stubb from the USA. Race to 3. Now that needs to keep running, and he'll get on one of those 3 reds that are lying in a line there. Yeah, if I'd played better safeties, you wouldn't have slaughtered me 7-6 the other day there. Well, that'll take the brown back down onto its spot. That'll sort of tidy up one colour. Now let's have a look at this black spot. Well, the black spot's clear, but of course the black is out of the game. So pink doesn't go, so in that shot there he needed a lot more juice into that. He needed to get that up the table a lot more, so that you're a lot more adjacent to the colour. So it's going to be a struggle for anybody to score anything significant here, the way these balls are lying. But in this type of frame, what's important from Stubbs' point of view is that he just keeps putting the odd point on the board, because he's already, what, 18 points in front, and anything that Semi's going to get is going to have to be hard work. But I would certainly be trying to get the blue at least back on its spot, but that's hard work. So this is going to be a big effort for not a lot of points. I never checked my little doodle was working. Hang on a minute. Yeah, that seems to be working fine. So the break is on 17, the lead's 23, so there's nothing really in it. But really should be trying to get the blue up the table. Well, like I said earlier, semis had a mindset to just try and, try and look impressive and score heavy. But as I say, that doesn't. There's guys in this tournament that are left in the tournament that won't impress, because they can certainly take evasive action to prevent the heavy scoring. And Stubb's still working hard at it. It's been a hard fought 24 break this, and his break, or his lead, goes to 30. But like I said, it's going to be hard work for SemiPro to get back in this one, as long as these colours remain the way they are. You know something, that's what the BBC should have done. I mean, they should have the live, I mean, it's on BBC 4 at the moment, Mark Allen match, and they should have like a stream version with people just sitting in the chat watching it, chatting away. That'd be a good way to do things, rather than using Twitter and all that crap. And now it's getting tough because we're running out of reds, and that red at the top of those two is the one where he's going to run into the other red and probably not be on a colour at all. Good evening, Keith. Stubb grinding away here to try and build up a lead, which he has done. The break ends on 28. The lead is, what is that? I can't even see that sitting right in front of the monitor. 34. And now it's going to be tough for SemiPro, because he's maybe going to try and push the boat out here to get in. And this is where Stubb could pick him off, and he doesn't want to fall into that trap. He should be looking at a good safety here. There's nothing to be gained from potting a red at that distance, and then you've got even further distance to go to get a colour. And the pink still, of course, doesn't go. So it's hard work. Well, he's going to bring the blue up the table and try and get in behind that brown, I would think. Well, that might be an edge just showing of that red. Yep. Maybe not. Well, he can play this with a bit of right hand side and just clip the red. Well, he's not even needing to do it. He's just scraped the paintwork off it and no more. And that will do. That's a good end result. So the safety here is obviously that one. The red goes to there and comes back to here, and the target area for the cue ball is back up here. If you can do that. Depends how thin he gets this, but he certainly wants to hit that baulk line. Needs to get the pace. Now if that had another 6 inches of running, it would have been a very good safety. So the reds are now wide open. Pink is now available, and so now Stubb has to be careful. And that red, if it splits between these two reds here, it could end up over the corner pocket, but he's hit it thin enough. But he's going to come across, and it's a chance for SemiPro. So the lead is 33. Well, Keith would have liked to have been in it as well, but he never knew the bloody thing was on. That's his excuse. Well, Semi's a bit too heavy there. Maybe he wanted to hold for the pink, and he's blocked off on the black. He can play the blue, but he needs to avoid the traffic. Oh, missed the knuckle. And is he going to get a nice kiss off that knuckle? I think he's going to be well hampered, is he? Well, I know what I'd be doing. I certainly wouldn't be taking any risks here. Is that red on? Well, in reality it would be a push shot, that red, but anyway, it's cutting away from the pocket, so just a run for cover here. There's an easy safety. You can get that red, you can go that way, and he could have went that way or something like that, but he's got to the same position. And again, Stubb should be looking at those two reds onto the other red, because that's nudging the other red towards the pocket, but he's played it light enough, just hasn't got the length. Needs to get it into that ball area. This is better. This is a better line. That's in behind the green. Little nudge off the black. And let's have a look at that from this end. It's not bad, but he's trying to hit it in the left hand side as thin as he can, because if he went the right hand side again, he's going to nudge it over the pocket for a long red. And well, the second red done him a favour there, but again it looks not too bad. Now, is Semi going to be enticed into having a go here? Well, he certainly won't, because he can't see the red. He can only see half of it in the right hand side. But the target area is up with the black, and if it misses the brown, oh, that might help. That might help. Oh, the commentator's eye is deadly. It never misses. So at some point somebody's going to have to take the risk, and the onus is on SemiPro to do that. Stubb just needs to keep things tight and pick off anything he can get, because he's got I mean, it's not an impressive lead. There's still 51 in the table, but he doesn't need to stick his neck out too far if he's going to protect those points that he's got. But that is the mistake that Semi's been waiting on, and has Stubb got away with it? I think he has. Well, it's now vital that SemiPro gets cover on that red, or gets into that far left corner at the top of the table. I mean, if he tries to get up where the black is, he's got a good chance of using green and brown to cover that red, but he has to be careful. Now surely he's not thinking of trying to cut that red, is he? No. For a second there I thought he was trying to line up the cut. Good evening, welcome. So the object here is to get right into the left hand corner. Now the red goes. Now is Stubb going to have a go? I think he is. So this frame may well be clinched on this red here. Well, what's he doing looking up there? He's got the pink. He can run through in the pink and come around the corner and onto that red. I don't see what the problem is. I mean, he shouldn't be up there. I mean, there's the pink. Pot the pink for the extra points. Again, he's got a weird way of playing it. Easy enough to go round a corner and finish on that red, but he's now 7 foot away from it. Once again, just while I remember, thank you to both the players arranging the match. I didn't know it was going to be arranged for today, but of course I finished my work today and I'm off the next 2 days, so tonight suits me fine. I dare say that it was SemiPro that coaxed Stubb into play tonight. Stubb wouldn't be setting it to suit me. He wouldn't be caring. He wouldn't be giving a shit, as he says. But anyway, he's looking good for the first frame. We've got a strange way of doing it though. Well, just punch the red up the table, kill the cue ball. And that is the way to get your opponent in trouble. So just 35 left in the table, and if SemiPro doesn't move this red, it's frame over, and it most certainly is. So Stubb is off and running. Kept it cagey, kept it tight. There's always different ways to win frames of snooker, and sometimes the biggest attribute's what's going on in your head rather than what you're trying to do in the table. So Stubb was using his head, although shot choices occasionally are a bit baffling. Now the question is, I mean, it's only a short race to 3. Now is Semi going to sort of start opening up the big guns and pay the price? That's the question that we remain to see. Right, I'm just going to have a quick switch over to BBC 4 while you guys are watching this, just to see what's happening in the snooker. Oh, it must be the mid-session interval. Must be the mid-session interval with that Mark Allen match, because it's the Ursenbacher match that they're showing the highlights of at the moment. So Stubb with a pussy break in frame number 2. course the objective here, and these safeties are getting played a wee bit too quick, because somebody's going to make a mistake pretty sharpish if they don't just assess what's happening here. But the objective is to find an escape route up the table, and there's an opportunity there for Stubb to get up the table, but he didn't even look at it, and the shot was on from that red there. He could have skimmed off it with side and punched that cue ball back up the table. There's escape routes that unless you take your time and look at what's there, you're going to end up tip-tapping for 20 minutes in amongst these reds. An opportunity there for SemiPro. If it missed the brown, it'd be excellent. So once again, Stubb looking for the thin edge. He needs to be careful here. If he gets this a bit thick, he's going to go into that corner, and he's got it thin. But of course, that pace and that cue ball there was finally killed by the green. So there's the target area now, up by the green and brown, and SemiPro's got a chance. Just got it too thick, but the reds are rapidly opening up here. Pink and black are still more or less on their spots. Don't think there's anything set here in any of those reds. And once again, there's the target line, which is off the red and down there. SemiPro is way short of pace there, way short. So the opening red for Stubb. He's going to have to work the cue ball here, but there's a mistake. Having to force the cue ball through to get it up the table for a colour, because green and brown are awkward now. And SemiPro has his first reasonably good chance. He's going to have to tidy up a bit here to get onto the high colours. Blue obviously is in the open. So he might play back for that red just to the left of the pink, because I think he's a bit straight here. There's not a lot he can do with the cue ball. He could run through, because he's got a choice of the two reds by the pink into this corner. Now he hasn't snookered himself, has he? I think he was trying to hold the spot. He's okay. So we know those two reds go into this bottom right hand corner pocket. And he hasn't gone hard enough there. He wanted to come down another foot, and if he was able to do that, he could have rolled through on one of those reds and ended up in the black. But he's going to have to more than likely go back up the table. There's he's gone too far. Has he? Has he got on it? That's perfect. Well, if he plays a little nudge, he'll be unlucky not to be on that red to the right. Sorry, the black. Can he come back? Let's have a look. Am I out of sync here? He is in the black, isn't he? That's way too tight. That does not go. Well, that's why I got myself confused. I'm thinking, what chance has he got of getting on that that black with that other red being the blocker? I mean, that was strange. I was thinking I was out of sync and I'm looking at, I don't know. A strange shot to me. Yeah. But anyway, it's a short contribution by SemiPro. Stubbs got a straight black, big distance though. Now he should just follow this through and come back up for the red rather than trying to kill it for the red. Just all about the pace. And he's still got the other red by the pink into the middle if he wants. He needs a little... no, that's fine. A little gentle draw, little stunny draw off the red. He'll be on the black. You don't need to hit this with any juice. You just need to... little jabby shot to get the red into the pocket and just hold for the black. Whereas he's stunning away around the corner and he's all over the place. That was not the shot. And I mean, the execution of that shot was all wrong. Because you need to play the little jabby stunt. Good draw, and he'd have been on the black. So everything's going to be at distance here. Again, with the green and brown where they are, they're no good to anybody. It's going to be it's going to be a similar pattern to the first frame. It's going to be a struggle to get points, but the pink and black are there though. But can he get back down and get on anything? Well, now he needs to hope he doesn't get on anything. Well, the yellows run into the reds, and he's left it safe. And SemiPro has got to be careful. Again, you've got to look at safety in this corner here somehow or other. That would be the target area, because again that means that those two reds there are doing nothing, those two. So you want to find a way to get up there and protect this side of the table. So we're going to get the tip tapping again until there's a touch and ball. So that's another thing you've got to be careful with. If you leave your opponent the touch and ball, he's got an easy escape. And these little gentle taps, especially when reds are together, it's very easy to leave a touch and ball by accident. Now, this is where it can get tricky. Now we've got the touch and ball, so there's a mistake by SemiPro, and I don't know whether Stubbs paying any attention to it at all. No, he's not, and he should have been up the table. This is why you've got to keep an eye on what you're doing, and Stubb missed a chance there. He could have went way up into the long grass into that top left hand corner there. He had the touch and ball, wasn't even aware he had the touch and ball, and possibly if he wasn't, he could have actually fouled, and then all hell would have broke loose. He'd have wondered what was wrong. As Semi got a shot at that red. No, he hasn't. And I think he's looking to punch it around the table and just kill the cue ball, but there's always a danger with that. But As I say, keep your eye on that top left hand of the HUD and just watch in case there's another touching ball, and see whether it happens to stub or not, and whether he actually becomes aware of the situation, because somebody has to make a move to get distance. Once you bring distance into the play, it can create problems in the safety shot. So that's another red nudged out. I'm pretty certain Semi won't miss the opportunity if he gets a touching ball. And the chances of that happening are becoming slimmer as these reds open up. Now, what's happened there? Now it's getting tricky, and the cut is on for Stubb if he wants to risk it. But again, he's just hitting and hoping here he gets lucky in a colour. He's going to collide with the second red. Where the cue ball's going to end up, nobody knows. Sometimes you've just got to take that risk to open up the game. Well, he's opened up everything there. It's fill your boots time for SemiPro, and now it's make or break. Big mistake by Stubb, and SemiPro knows exactly what he has to do here. I mean, we've got the emergency backup yellow up over the corner. We've got the pink and the black in the open. There's still a bit of work to do here though, but the pressure's on Semi. He knows he has to produce the goods now. And where's the cue ball ending up? Well, as I say, he's got the yellow as the emergency backup, but that pink goes. I don't know why he's not looking at the pink. Oh, there's a lucky break. Good evening, Albie. You're a bit late to the party. Well, this is SemiPro's first real chance in the match to get points here, but it's going to be a bit of hard work unless he gets that black on its spot, which he should do now. Well, a straightforward roll in on either side here. Roll the one on the right down the rail, roll the one on the left in, and he'll be on the black. Look at the old champions coming out of the woodwork tonight. A hippie Swede and an old Irishman. Well, he's still got a 9-ball player's brain. He hasn't got a snooker player's brain yet. He needs a fair bit of training. A SemiPro on a break of 20 so far, but he needs a lot more if he's going to hammer home his advantage from that big mistake by Stubb. Well, I think I'd be like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition. That's what I think I'd be like. So, SemiPro building up a healthy lead. Now, if he takes the bottom red of those two, he can brush off the top red and should be on the pink or black. I mean, it'd be a miracle if he didn't land on either of them. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, he's got to take that red there. In fact, he might even miss that red, but he should still be on one of those two colours. Now the pink goes, so he can just, again, he can roll through, so he's got choices here, whatever he's comfortable with. No point in taking any chances, any risks. Now how does that look? Well, he just goes straight across and back across. The danger is then blocking himself out of the pink. Can he hold it for these two? That's perfect. That'll do nicely. Is Yama there very often? Any time I've been in, I've seen him occasionally. When I've had a look in at Shooter's Pool, he's been in there. Yamaguchi Taru. So Semi's break goes to 50, and he's won the second frame, and that's the price you pay. I mean, the shot that Stubb played was always risky from the point of view he had no guarantee he was ever going to get out for a colour, but the big mistake was the pace he played it at to try and get out, because he then broke every red out into the open. And like I say, unless you keep things tight towards the business end of these tournaments, you're going to bump into players that will be able to take advantage of those mistakes and well, make you pay the price. Well, it's fair to say that under a bit of pressure, SemiPro has produced the goods when he was given the opportunity in this frame. So make no doubt about that. Oh, needed the little cannon. Now, is he still on the screen? No. Well, just give it the old heave-ho. Give it the blast. Well, I don't know what he's doing there, but I would have slammed it just to try and keep the break going. But it's a good, healthy break of 72 by SemiPro, and Stubb doesn't know where the resign the frame button is in the menu. Somebody tell him. He's got absolutely no chance here. But if he wants to make the match last a bit longer, he can mess about for 20 minutes. Well, I thought he played there. I thought he was a regular. I mean, I've dropped in once or twice and I've seen him. But, I mean, it's actually been about, oh, I don't know, a good 4 or 5 weeks since I last looked in that place. I only ever look in. I mean, sometimes I set a room just to see if anything's changed. But, no. So Stubb just looking to get some points on the board, basically. But it's one frame all in this race to 3. And Semi should just slam the cue ball into the hole, get this over and done with. And it will be SemiPro to break in frame number 3. And he's caught the Stubb bug. he's left a cut into that middle pocket, albeit not easy. But if Stubb doesn't get this in, we're going to have a red down in the baulk half of the table. So now we're going to have the old tip-tap routine here for 20 minutes. Well, SemiPro was a bit heavier with that one. That's opened the reds a wee bit more. But we've got a touching ball again. And again, Stubb hasn't even looked at it. I'm willing to bet Stubb doesn't know he's got a touching ball when he's got a touching ball, if you know what I mean, because I don't think he's paying any attention. He's got another one. He's got another touching ball. Now see if he pushes into that red and moves it, he'll soon find out. Well, that red is always the thing that's in the back of your mind when you're playing safe down this end of the table. As soon as you squirt that cue ball out, that red's exposed. And the reds are ever gradually just opening up. And the danger for Stubb is that that's going to play right into SemiPro's hands if Stubb makes another big mistake that he made in that last frame. And especially with the pink and black being open. Now that red goes and SemiPro's going to have to force this cue ball, but this is a big shot and he's way off by the country mile. Now the big question is, what can Stubb do? Well, he's got the red that we spoke about in baulk. There's also the other one next to the yellow. Pink is now out the game more or less up at the top end. Black's over on the left hand side. So once again Stubb's going to have to work for this innings. He's going to have to do something about getting that black on its spot so he can work down this end of the table, because the further he has to run the cue ball, the more likely he's going to run into trouble. So he's going to have to tidy things up a bit here if he can. He can't keep running up to baulk, because this is where you're then looking to play much more accurate positional shots rather than just moving into an area. You're going to end up running out of reds to get on. Well, let's have a look. He's got the one red, but he's going to have to dig deep in the cue ball again to get it out of that corner. And there is the red that he's close to goes into the corner, but that's difficult to read. So Stubb's got a bit of a problem here. He knows the red he should be taking, but it's not pretty because he's running into the other red, and he's going to have to get a fair bit of action in the cue ball to get it out of there. So he might be looking to hide here up in the far left corner. And that is not a bad shot. I mean, that's a sensible shot, but the problem is he's left that red for Semi to use to play safe from. He needs to cover the other red though, next to the yellow. Now, and sometimes you can forget that red is there by the yellow. So it does go into that top right hand corner. I'm pretty certain it does. Yes, it does. You know what? Stubbs playing away there, and this red will go into the middle. This red will go. Again, that's what I'm saying. You have to pay attention to that red. It does go, and he's used all of the pocket. It's went in off the jaw, and that was a poor choice of shot by Stubb again. You've got to get that cue ball in such a position where you don't leave the pot. I mean, you can leave the red exposed, but not that you can pot it. So mistake again, and semi-pro this time. Well, is this the right shot? Not easy. And in goes the black, and I say, is it the right shot? Because he's ended up leaving a cut into the middle. That's his only red. He'd no other choice. And Stubb now is going to have to pick a line. He'll be really fortunate to hit a red and leave it safe. Well, Stubb didn't put any thought whatsoever and pick a target ball, which is really what you should be trying to do. He's had the old heave-ho, hit and hope, and well, the black's there for the taking, and I don't think he wanted to put too much thought into that shot. There's a lot of points here for semi-pro if he can keep the black free, and if he can get on it, which he certainly can from this red. You could stun up onto those three reds and still be on one of the two reds in the right and left, but that, I don't know whether the angle's good enough. Well, that's what he's tried. He's actually hit the one in the left. Now, how ugly is that finished? I can get through there, no problem. But that was a shot. Play. Oh, that camera's went weird. Look at that one. But that was a shot. Play the little stun up, and then you're guaranteed to be on either one of those two reds in the left and right there. So that's worked out quite nice. And well, this is a slight problem, because he's now only working with the black into one pocket, so he needs to get rid of that red if he can, just to give him that choice. And not pay attention to the chat, because that's just designed to distract you, take your mind off what you're doing. What's the angle like here? Well, again, a little soft draw, but with a bit of fizz on it, he can still be on the black, maybe, or can he? Let's have a closer look. No. He's running and hoping he gets a nice kiss. You see, when you look from this angle and you look down, the angle's totally different when you get down behind the ball. I thought he could have held for the black there. dear. Well, that is a big mistake on a run of 33 by SemiPro. And well, Stubb is now going to have to score. That was unexpected, and I think Semi was just thinking and holding for that red and forgot about the blue. So now it's Stubb's turn to produce. He's got to make up that deficit. Well, that's what you should have done right from the start. Just mute him right from the start, and then you've got absolutely nothing to distract you. Now again, Stubbs way up the table. That was far too heavy, and every time you're playing these shots from distance, they're not gimmies. Not in this game. So Stubb now trails by 30. He's only got the blue and black to work with. Well, that's really what he should be working with, unless he lets that cue ball get away. Let's have a look. Well, if he just plays this gentle, he'll still hold for that red to the left of the black. He's got a limited choice of what he can play for here. But that's the shot. Now, is he going to be hampered? Yes, he is. He's right over the red. But it's a straight roll in and up for the blue. But he needs to roll far enough without following it into the pocket. Well, he's coming back for the black. And once again, with this shot, you need to go through, and go through far enough that you don't snooker yourself. Plenty of room. Big gap there to get on that red. So just through and out. Well, he's certainly on the red. What the hell are you doing in the bloody stream chat, for God's sake? Shut any stream down and get on with the bloody game. Right, again, perfect angle to get up for. Well, the two of them don't go. The bottom one goes. The other one goes into the middle. In fact, from this side, it looks like the two of them go into the middle. Well, that's well played. That is absolutely pinpoint perfect on that red, because the other one doesn't go. And Stubb is now into the lead by 2 points. Well, this is again just a simple stun. Stun up the table to the right. You've got to be on the red. Well, let's see if he plays it properly. If you play the stun shot is the way to do it, because that way you're just letting the cue ball take its natural path, and then it's just a roll in the red and you're on the black again. So he should clinch this frame. Break goes to 47. Lead goes to 10. And of course he doesn't need the pink, so doesn't need to worry about the pink. But he certainly needs to worry about where he's finished on that yellow. That's a big mistake. And I think he maybe forgot the yellow was going to come back up. And now the pressure pot, and he's decided against it. Now if Semi can get this right, can he see enough of that yellow to kill it? No, I don't think he can. But the target area is down by the black. He could play the pot, but that's a bit ambitious. He doesn't want to cut that yellow too thin into the pink though. Well, he's got the pot and he's got a shot in the green, and SemiPro has his chance to pinch the frame. And Stubb blew it. Oh, and Semi's blown it as well. Well, strange things happen. Now, he could have been playing that with a bit of side just to check the cue ball for the brown, which is a simple way you miss the green. And Stubb can lock him behind the pink. But he's squirted out and he's left the pink. He's left the green on. Oh dear. Well, this is just a roll in dead weight. Or has he covered it? He's actually covered it. I thought he'd squirted out far enough. Oh, that's ended up pretty good. Now from here, that looks as if the cue ball's got a clear sight of the green. And he's missed the green. And, well, Semi's going to have another go at that. Stubb will put him back in. Unless he fancies drawing off the green to try and clinch the frame. He's going all out for it. Still a tough brown. Well, both players have had their chances. SemiPro blown it in the green maybe. If this brown goes in. And in it goes. And just a roll in the blue. And the frame is well and truly secured. And so Stubb managed to get himself back into the frame midway through it, and in the end has managed to steal it, although it could have went either way. Well, he scratched off the pink. That's going to take Semi to 50, so he's 20 points behind with 13 in the table, and he'll look for the snooker, but it's a tall order to get a good snooker. Excuse me. But there's always that chance. Now the angle's there to play it. Well, he's decided against it. I don't know why. I mean, he would have needed a couple of snookers, but it's still worth trying it. Well, again, now he's getting into conversation. Wrong way to go about it. And you see how these frames end up ugly right at the start with this tip-tap break, because all you end up is doing this for 5-10 minutes until somebody eventually leaves a pot on, like what has happened here. Now Stubb does have a valid point there. But as I say, if you mute the opponent, you don't have the problem in the chat. And Stubbs' way of getting inside your head is working out perfectly as far as he's concerned. Well, SemiPro is going to have to get an angle in the not too distant future where he can get into those reds, and he's got the angle now, but he's going to have to dig if he wants to take that chance to try and open something. Now how's his luck? Pretty good. He's lying nicely on the red, little roll through for the black. You don't need to have any conversation with anybody. You let your you let what you do in the table do the talking. There's nothing better than ramming in a 50, 60, 70 break to shut your opponent up. Now again, he could take a risk here. Yeah, he's taking a risk. This time he hasn't knocked a ball in, which he was unfortunate to do in his last match, I think once or twice. But he's not landed too good here at all. And this is another tester, this red. But he's got the cut back into the middle, which is awkward, and he's got the cut back into this corner, which is not easy either. So this is a pressure pot. And it goes. Now, is he going to run high enough? That will do very nicely. Well, it's a bit straight to actually try and nudge into those reds. He'd better just draw back an inch or two for that red into the left middle. Oh dear. And again he's taking his eye off it, looking at the position for the red into the middle, and he's forgotten about the pink. Well, SemiPro's letting himself get distracted. That's all I'm saying. He's letting himself get drawn into things. He's even coming on the stream, for goodness sake, in the middle of the match. Well, we've had a good 75 break by SemiPro to win his frame. SemiPro got off to a reasonably good start in the last frame, and Stubb had a chance to get back in it, which he did, and then it went backward and forward and nobody wanted to win it, and eventually Stubb got it, which is why he's 2-1 ahead. And Stubb again is going to have to pull out a good red, unless he looks for safety off that red. Now the thing is, if he went for this red, he can actually roll through down to the right of the pink and black. He's going to be lucky if he gets in the pink, but he's not going to leave a lot if you look at the position. Well, he went all out to hold for the blue. SemiPro, and we haven't really paid much attention to the scoreboard, but he's got a 33 points to 8 lead here and has a good chance to tie the match up. But it's Stubb at the table with a chance to get back in the frame. So now again, there's that red down in bulk. That's the one he should be playing for. You need to take care of that. Well, he could stun in behind the pink and black here and maybe nudge into the black and hold for the pink. That could be the shot. Might be worth a try, because other than that he's got an awful lot of distance to go on a colour. Now again, perfect in the green, should be rolling through for that red and dealing with that red. It's all going to be hard work to keep this cue ball moving. Now Stubb may pay the price later for leaving that red up in bulk, and he's had two good chances to get on the red. Deal with that, because then it's out of your head. If it happens to be he gets out of shape and is looking for a safety, he might be limited in his choices because that red's up there in bulk. Got to deal with that. I mean, see, there's a mistake. In the pro game, when there's a red in bulk like that, the pro players don't worry about that so much because they're so good down at this end of the table. But Stubb should have taken care of that red, and now look what's happened. He's missed a red. The red's hanging over the pocket. He's been lucky to cover it, but he's left the red in bulk to give Semi a start. So don't say the commentator isn't right, because I know I am. He should have taken care of that 2 shots ago, and he wouldn't have had this situation. He would have actually got away with it. But goodness me, SemiPro has missed the red. It was just a roll in. I mean, you just roll it in. You've got to be on the brown or yellow on the bottom. I mean, if he'd rolled that red in, he would have finished sort of there, and he'd have had the yellow or brown. He didn't have to get out for the yellow and brown. He just had to roll it in. Yes, I was right. Of course I was right. That's the other reason I was right, because the pink and black's so awkward to get anything out of. Red should have been dealt with, but as I say, it doesn't matter now. Stubb's back in. So that was a poor miss by Semi. He'll be kicking himself with that one. Stubb looking to play, push the red onto the other red. I don't know why. It's not going to gain him any advantage. He's just got rid of an extra red, and he's still trailing by 10. And it's long distance travel for a colour. Well, the shot to play is the yellow. Good bit of top. If you finish short, you're going to finish here and you'll have the red. If you finish where you want to be, you'll be on the red there on that side. That's where you're not doing an awful lot with the cue ball, so you're just potting the yellow going through, maybe a wee feather or left on it, but not a lot, and you're bound to be on this red, either in the gap or beyond the pink and black. Commentator's eye says that's what he should be doing. Now let's see if he's got it right. Has he got it right? Well, he's nudged into the other red, and that has killed it. That's a bit unlucky. Yeah, just a matter of a quarter. Can you see it? I think that is very tight. Well, it might be worth having a wee bend round it to have a go at it, because if he overcuts it, it'll go safe and the cue ball goes down into baulk. We're going to have tip tapping again. Now who's going to run out of patience first here? Well, there's a mistake, and that is a big one. Way too heavy with the touch, semi-pro, and it's left stub an easy starter. And once again he's knocked in the extra red, and that's making things tougher for himself. He's got less and less points in the table, and he's still trailing. And well, now the other red is awkward near the pink and black. What's the objective here? Well, it's a big draw. And I think the big draw is just going to take him right down into the corner. I don't know whether he can make much out of this at all. Is he on? No. All he can do is run for cover, thin off the right hand side as we look, get the pace right, tuck that red towards the pink and black, and get up into baulk, but he's going to hit the green. Now this is where you have to pick out a good safety, because well, I don't know whether playing the one in the left's maybe a good choice, because if it hits the pink, it's going to run towards the right corner pocket here, and he needs to get this right. If he gets it a wee bit too thick, he could catch that pink. Oh, he's went all out for the pot. What a pot! Where's the red going? Oh, the red's going to be there or thereabouts over the corner. Well, is that going to be the frame clincher to tie the match up? I did not think he was going to go for that. That's a surprise. Well, Albie, have you seen any of that Barker's guy? Have you heard of this guy called Barker's? Because he's bloody good. He's in the winner's side, and he's definitely the favourite for the tournament. He's extremely good, and from what I've seen of him, he might not have been having a great day in the match that I've seen him in, but he's very impressive. And Moz is going to find out how good he is, because he plays Moz in the next round. Well, meanwhile, SemiPro still has work to do. He's got an 11-point lead. So still needs the blue to secure the frame. Now, I've been trying to get a hold of Napnicker in the last day, but he never answered a PM. I presume he's not watching the stream either. So we are going all the way, folks. We're going to get our money's worth. It's going into a final frame decider, and it will be Stubb with a pussy break. Stubbs thinking a way to keep this pink out, is he? I thought he was trying to keep the pink out. Good evening. That's another name I don't recognise. So final frame. Oh no, it's SemiPro to break. I thought it was. Oh no, SemiPro did the pussy break in the last frame. That's what it was. He did it. I thought it was Stubb, but it was actually SemiPro that did the. Was it? I'm getting confused now. He couldn't have broke. He couldn't have broke 2 frames in a row. No, Semi had a go in his break. That's right. Straight away, Stubbs got a straight long red, and it goes. Chance to get some points on the board. Black, of course, now doesn't go, only goes into the right hand corner, but he can stun across for it. Well, he's got that completely wrong. See, he got draw on it rather than stun, and you have to play that sharp jab stun shot to come across to get on that black. So now he's just going to run for cover. Nice and thin. And if that keeps running, it's going to find a line behind the green. Let's have a quick look. No. A good chance to get a good length on this cue ball here. And he's still 2 foot short. Well, for any latecomers again, like Tyler, this is Virtual Pool 4 online, and we are watching a one-loss side match between SemiPro from England and REELPOLANDPOWER from the USA in a race to 3, and we're at the final frame to decide who marches on in a tournament. Well, I can see a pattern developing here. These reds are going to all end up in a corner. But as soon as this shot is played, there's not going to be many more opportunities from the right hand side of the table now. If Stubb gets this right, he could have Semi in trouble here. Now if that misses a knuckle and has the right line, I don't think it's going to take enough line. No. Almost got it. Almost got it. Not a bad effort. But likewise, the same thing applies to SemiPro here. If he can get that line, the green and brown are fairly handy as a target area. But SemiPro is struggling for weight here. He's fallen short 2 foot each time in getting back to the baulk cushion, and that's why he's left 2 reds exposed. Let's have a look at this black. Now, he did not need to slam that red in. He could have played it anywhere over here and used that jaw to pot the black. But anyway, SemiPro's been stuck behind the green. But an easy safety here. He'd be unlucky to leave anything on, but he's hit that far too hard. He just wanted to roll across, but he's going to get taken out again. But this time he should get a better line after his first attempt. Well, that is safe. but it may well, he may well be put back in, because the scratch isn't a foul and miss, but he could have been put back in. And now it's an even bigger target area, the green and brown. And the problem though is the right hand side of the table's now blocked off. There's no shot down that side. Well, this time Semi's got better weight. And a shot to nothing here for Stubb. The red goes between the black and red. So that's the shot he should be playing. Shot to nothing. Cue ball back up the table. Now is he going to get lucky? He's left it on. And it's pretty straight. And well, if Semi's going to play the draw, he's going to have to get a bit of juice in this. Lots of juice in it. Needs a bounce. Well, there's basically one good chance of getting on a red, and again, that should have been a much better safety by SemiPro there. That was actually pretty poor, because he's left Stubb with an escape route, which if he gets maybe enough side on this, he can try and get up with the brown. Well, I don't think he put any on it, because I was thinking if he'd played that shot with a good bit of side, he could have come that way and tried to find a path. I'll have a quick look at the snooker and see what's happening. Let's have a look. Oh, the match must have finished. There's nothing on BBC4 now. Unless it was only on for an hour and then they've had to cut the broadcast. I don't know what's happening in the snooker. What's happening in the Mark Allen match? Allen's 9-8 down. Oh, that's been a bloody good match. That boy's done well. I mean, considering the amount of centuries that Allen's had in the match, he's done well to be in it at 9-8. $8-7. So Mark Allen's 8-7 down. Well, I might see a bit at the end of that match if this match can finish pretty sharpish. Well, that's a good shot. That's an even better shot considering where the black is. Now, can he get that clean? I think he can. Now, how's that worked out? Can you see the other red? No, he can't. He's on nothing. How unfortunate is that? Or is he? Is my eye so bad I can't see that red? No, he's definitely not on it. That is unlucky. Well, now you see, he might feel desperate enough to try and pot this red. Now, again, there's safety. There is safety if he just banks that red there and takes a cue ball down there, but he has to get the length on it to get distance. I mean, it's got to be an accurate shot to try and use that green. But there's another safety, or is it? You've got to be really careful There's so many reds here, and this is going to entice Stubb into having a go. Oh, you played with Mark Allen, did you? Was he playing snooker at the time, or was he just, did he start off in blackball and then move to the snooker? I mean, that's how I started. I started playing, you know, in the pub table, and then moved to snooker. Well, this is a great opportunity here for Stubb. Well, that's what Selby was playing, was it not, or something similar to it? Mark Selby won the championship in the pub table stuff, and then stepped up to the snooker. I always played the snooker. Aye, well, Selby certainly did. Well, is Stubb going to make this count? He's got the blue and the black to work with here, and he's got a 20-point lead. Simple roll through for the other red next to the cue ball. Or is he? Oh, I think he might have snookered himself in that. I don't think he's played for that one. He's played for the other one. Black only goes into one pocket though, so again the cue ball's got to travel. And this is where he could just become undone here. The cue ball getting out of line. But he's got loads of room. If he overhits it for the blue, he's bound to be on the yellow or pink. Like I say, when you have to keep that cue ball travelling, you can always run into trouble, and he's in trouble here, and he's going to need a good blue. Doesn't need to do anything, he just needs to pot the blue and stop the cue ball. He's on the red. And there's nothing to do but totally focus on that blue. And he doesn't need to thump it in either, he just needs to pot it. Red's sitting waiting. So well, that could be another shocker in the cards then. 9-7 down against a guy I've never heard of. Well, this is a little tester, but he needs to roll this in gentle. He's got to be on the red that's nearest us. Nice and gentle. Dead weight. Cue ball off the rail. And that will do. I don't think he can avoid hitting the other red. and he needs a bit of luck to get on more or less the black. And again, nothing to do with the cue ball. Pot the black, the natural angle, he's on the other red there to the left of the black without any trouble at all. And the lead is 40, the break is 31, and is it going to be a match clinching break here by Stubb? Now, has he gone high enough? Well, if he plays it with a wee bit of left, he's going to cross the table and back across somewhere inside where he is at the moment, like here for the black. Just a wee feather of inside, or left hand side as we say in snooker. That just makes the pot a wee bit more difficult, but it's the right shot for getting on the black. Well, he's not played anything on it, so that's why he's now in between. If he had played the right shot, the side would have brought the cue ball back this way, and now he's just having to go at a distance again. But it's all about just keeping at the table. Big lead, still 51 left in the table. Well, the mistake's made, but the mistake was going to come, because you cannot keep going to the well, as they say. And Stubbs' lead is 48, I think. I think my basic arithmetic's right. But there are 51 in the table. And the problem for semi-pro is he's going to have to punch this red in if he wants to get good on this black. He can't just roll it in, he's going to have no shot. And he's actually just overdid it slightly. But again, this is the little draggy draw shot to hold for that red. This is the shot that Stubb should have played earlier. Not necessarily in this frame, but you'll see it played the right way. Oh dear. And that was tentative. It wasn't played with a great deal of confidence. And semi-pro has quit. And it's all over, folks. Semi-pro has been undone by Stubb. And Stubb goes through to the next round. And we'll have a look at the bracket. Well, as I say, big breaks for show. Match play mentality gets you the dough. You have to stop this big practice for getting big breaks, because that does not necessarily give you the match play way of winning. And Stubb found a way to win. Simple as that. Let's have a look at the bracket and see how that takes shape. Well, Stubb should be odds on favourite to be playing Bedhead, provided that match goes ahead with Barry C. And when's that to be played by? Well, they've got until August the 8th, Bedhead and Barry C, to get their match done. And then they've got until August the 12th for the winner of that match against Stubb to take place. Of course, not a lot else can take place as well until things are resolved this side, and they have to wait for a loser to come across from this side, and that'll be the loser of the match between Moz and Barker's, whenever that's going to take place. I hope it's at a time that I can get it. Bearing in mind that all along I've been talking about Moz being from England, when he's actually he told me the other day he's in Texas. So he's over living in the States. So there's a big difference in the time zone then. I think what's Texas, is that like 6 hours behind? Is that like mid, whatever the hell it's called, not mountain time or central time or something like that? So that's about 6 hours behind us, so there is a big time difference zone thing, blah blah blah. So whether I'll get it I don't know, but anyway guys, Stubb has got himself through, and SemiPro let him get to him. Got involved in the chat, shouldn't have. Came into the stream, shouldn't have. Actually had a decent break when he got himself together to win that second frame, and then well, Stubb just found a way to win. So anyway, the match is over, the evening's over. Thank you for your company. Take care guys. I hope I get some of these other matches, I really do. If not, keep your eye on the bracket and see when they're going to take place. They'll probably be worth watching. Certainly it's worth, if you haven't seen this Barker's guy, get a chance to have a look at him. He's going to be tough to beat, but there are ways to beat these guys. There are definitely ways to beat them. Doesn't matter how heavily they score. If you play it right, you can stop them scoring. There's always a way. So guys, I'm what time is it? I don't need to go to bed. I'm going to go and get a coffee probably. And I will see you again soon. So good night, stay safe, keep your distance, and we will see you again soon. It's been a pleasure.